Okay. It is July 11th, 2023. This is the meeting of the Sewer Commission. And my name is John Reynolds, the current chairman. I would like to ask everyone to join in the Pledge of Allegiance. Dave, since you have the flag there, I'm going to let you start us out.
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag
To the flag
of the
of the
United States,
United States of America,
and to the
and to the
republic
republic for which it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty
liberty
and
and
justice
justice
for all.
for all.
Okay. In accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting of the Sewer Commission is being recorded and will be able to be found on the Lunenburg Access YouTube channel after the meeting. The following information is also provided for members of the public that would like to participate in the meeting remotely. To participate remotely from a computer, please use the link to join the public meeting webinar found on the posted agenda, or from a telephone, dial the toll-free number 888-475-4499 and enter, excuse me, the webinar ID number 820-5953-7604. If you have not registered with Zoom, you will be asked for your name and an email address. No participant ID is needed, just press pound when asked. I'm going to do a roll call vote to see who's with us tonight. Dave McDonald,
here.
Brett Ramsden,
Here.
Mike Nault is not with us, and I for myself, so we do have a quorum. Let's see, the DPW staff, or the sewer department staff rather. Bill Bernard,
Here.
Paula Bertram,
Here.
and Jane Rainley.
Here.
Okay, great. Let's see, do we have any public? No, okay.
No.
Any comment from the public, the general public? Okay, seeing none. Any public comment from the sewer commission or sewer department?
Mr. Chair, I have one. I just want to send our prayers along to Jane for her husband's speedy recovery. And everyone here in the sewer department loves you very much. So if you ever need anything, you have 6 of us that will help you, even though Bill's only half the size right now. But whatever you need, we can help you with it.
Thank you.
Yeah, everyone. Dave, you do a great job of conveying these things. Thank you. And Jane, you know, you're in our thoughts and prayers.
Absolutely.
Any announcements from anyone?
Mr. Chair, to remind everybody, it's pancake breakfast tomorrow. So hopefully you can all want to go to breakfast from 8 to 10 at the senior center.
Keto?
Nah, I don't know.
What?
Kudos to you. I don't know.
No. Keto.
You know what?
No carb pancakes.
Oh, no, stick with the sausage.
Okay. Any other announcements? No. Okay. And we have no appointments. Okay. Current business minutes from 6/27/23. I personally have not read those. Although I have complete confidence in Jane's accuracy, but I have not read them. So if we could move, postpone those until the next meeting, if that's all right with Dave and Brett.
Mr.
I
Chair.
did read them and go ahead.
No, go ahead, Brett. I think you're going to do what I was going to do. Go ahead.
I was going to say I read them, and yes, Jane is quite accurate as usual, doing her amazing work. And but we go ahead, Deb. I assume you want to do a motion to vote on them next week. That's the thing.
Second. You made the motions, I'll second it.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. Any further discussion on that? No, roll call vote. Brett, you agree to move them to next meeting?
Yes,
Dave?
Yes,
And I for myself. Okay, FY3 year-end commitments. Paula, you want to take that?
Sure. Since the last commitment, since the fourth quarter billing has gone out, we've had a couple of adjustments. We've had $656.87 in bill adjustments, and we've had $2,297.95 in final reads. So the adjustment that we need to make is $1,641.08. So I need you to vote on that, and then I will send the commitment, both the commitment and the warrant via DocuSign for you guys to sign.
Okay, so does someone want to make a motion based on what Paula just told us?
so moved.
Brett, you want to second that?
I will second that.
Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none. Brett,
I,
Dave,
Aye,
and I for myself. Okay, grease trap permits. Paula, go for it.
So internal, external interceptors, inspections and reporting. With the situation that we had on Mass Ave and Al's concerns regarding internal grease traps without interceptors, I was wondering if the commission wanted to consider proposing a new form. We have many establishments that simply initial the form and don't provide any information. Then we have 2 establishments that provide detailed information about exactly what they did. So for example, inspected the trap, scraped and cleaned the grease trap and removed X amount of inches of grease, ran hot water. So we get a lot more descriptive. And our current form doesn't call for that. So I sent out a proposed new form to send out. The grease trap renewals will be going out soon. So I'd like to implement this new form and require that establishments fill out all of the information, the measurement of grease, and then exactly what was done.
Now, Brett and Dave, have you had a chance to look at that? If
I
not,
I had it.
do you want you want Paula to share that if she's able to on the screen?
yeah, I was just gonna ask that because it's kind of confusing to me.
Okay. Hold on one second.
You have 2 attachments here. Is that the same log?
Right, the old one and the new one.
Okay, that's what I thought.
That's the confusion, okay?
Is the old one, Paula, the one with the writing at the right angle?
I don't know. The new one has red writing that says sample highlighted areas must be filled in.
That's the new one you said?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so the old one is the
Um,
one that's,
Right, let me just. So this is the proposed form. Actually, yeah, this is the proposed form. So I would like people to fill in.
We're not seeing it on the
Oh,
screen.
sorry, hold on, sorry.
Current one is confusing.
Why it's not, there we go. Okay, so can you see my screen now?
What we're seeing, okay, yeah, now we can.
Okay, so this is the new one. And apparently the printing didn't come over, but on this form, we have the measurement of grease and the volume. And then if they did maintenance or repairs, I want them to fill out this column. If they did simple cleaning, I want with notes on the depth of the grease removed, I want to know exactly what they cleaned. So these two columns currently do not exist on the form. I can show you the old form. So this is our current log, and it's just this little tiny box. And what we end up getting is people just put in the date and then they initial the inspection, but we never get the measurement of grease, the maintenance. I shouldn't say never, because a couple of establishments do it, but the majority of establishments which put the date and the initials. So with the renewals this year, I want to send out the new form and explain in the renewal letter that all of the applicable categories have to be filled out. So I'm asking you guys to adopt this new form.
I like
Okay,
it.
I have my views, but Brett and Dave, you want to offer
ahead,
your
Dave.
views?
Go ahead, Brett. You got questions, Brett?
I don't, I like it. It looks straightforward. There's plenty of room for some actual description, like Paula mentioned. The other form, just looking at, it's very oddly, the current form is oddly set up and there's not enough room to really fill in anything properly. This one, it's all, the writing is all level, easy to understand. It's very straightforward. There's room for description. Then you can expect this one to be filled out. You could ask for this one to be filled out. I like it. Dave?
Thanks, Brett. My only concern is who will be filling this out? The customer or the vendor?
In internal grease traps, there isn't typically a vendor. It's typically the establishment owner that's doing it. And sometimes it's in some establishments, it's a vendor, but for the most part, it's the individual business owner. And so that's why I want more information. So I used a sample and I actually took verbiage from one establishment that does a great job. They created their own form based on our form, and I kind of used theirs as my template. But you can see this is what I want to send out with the mailings, and the highlighted areas must be filled in completely. I'm going to switch the cleaning to the first column and maintenance to the second column. But I want this data to be completed, whether it be the vendor, whether I know that there's at least one establishment that does use a vendor, but the majority of them do not.
So are we requiring them to inspect it weekly? Is that our requirement?
That's our regulations, yeah.
Okay, Dave, Brett, any more comments?
Yeah, I just think if we send this out, I'd like to have a letter of instructions to go along with it to the vendors. To the
Yeah,
customers.
it will go out. It will go out in the renewal letter with information about what information we're expecting to capture. And then this sample would go out along with it.
Mr. Chair, I ask that we give a little tolerance to the first time until people get used to it, I guess. That would be my only suggestion.
Okay, can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we're asking a restaurant guy to give us information that they're probably not used to doing before. So I think we just got to be patient. And Paul, what I'm trying to say is you might have to make a phone call to a customer and say, this is what we're looking for, to explain it. Again, as a business owner in town, I want to follow all the guidelines, but I guess we're asking them to measure and stuff like that. Is that right? So I wonder if we could get, like other big towns do, they get the Board of Health involved in doing inspections of internal grease traps. And I don't know if we could.
You know, Dave, I would love the Board of Health to take this all completely over. But I think we've had a lot of discussions over the years where that's not going to happen at this point in time.
Well, there's a new chair on the board, Mr. Chair. Maybe we could reach out to
Okay.
him and invite us to a meeting.
Okay, I didn't realize there was a new chair. Yeah, that would be great. I've mixed emotions about turning it over to the Board of Health. But anyway, all that aside, this form in particular, I like it. Even if someone does use a restaurant, does use a third party, which most all but one don't. it'd still be the responsibility of the establishment to fill the form out. So I like it. I'd like to start using it as soon as possible.
Mr.
Sure, we
Chair,
can be a little lenient, the first
Yeah,
one or two times until they get used to it. I don't have a problem with that. But
I
again,
think
I
it's
like,
more likely, sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead, Brett.
Looking at the form, it looks like it's more likely to be filled out than the old one at the very least. But, the likelihood of someone filling it out is better just with the way it's set up to begin with. Whether we, just be lenient as it goes and
Yeah.
let people give some people a heads up that they're not
Yeah.
covering all the bases after a little while and say, listen, this form is there for a reason. We need you to fill this out. I'm okay with leniency, but start with this form is a good start. That's where I'm coming from.
Okay, so I have someone willing to make a motion to accept this form with the one change that Paula mentioned, switching the two columns, last two columns. Paula, was that it, or?
Right, I want the cleaning before the maintenance.
Okay, so,
Mr. Chair, I'll put a motion out there, but I do have a couple more questions. I can do it on the
discussion.
discussion if you like.
Okay, sure. Brett, do you want to second that?
I will second that.
Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, no, go ahead, Dave.
So I just want to walk through it real quick. You got the food establishment, and that would be XYZ
Mhm.
restaurant, the address. The grease trap model number, how would a store know that? Do we have that information now?
And that's something that's on the old form, and frankly, nobody ever fills it out.
don't
So I
know.
don't quite know why it's there.
Okay,
I just left it there because it was on the old one. Typically a grease trap does have a model number on it, on the the identification tag. But if you want to remove that, I have no problem with that. They should know the grease trap capacity, however.
I'm just wondering where it is on the grease trap. That's what I'm saying. If I get this, I would say, what's my model number? I'm surprised we don't have it though. I mean, I thought it would be on our records.
It's not.
Okay, I guess I would like to see it left there, but not penalize anyone if they don't know it, can't find it, but it should be like looking at a 20-year-old washing machine. The model number is on there somewhere. So
Right.
again, I'd like to leave it there, but again, not penalize anyone if they don't fill the model number.
That's all I want to make sure, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, and we don't. I'm really looking to get the highlighted information.
Right.
The yellow areas are the areas that I'm really looking for them to fill out.
Okay, Brett, anything else you want to add to this?
Thank you. No, I have nothing else to add.
Okay, so, see, we have a motion out there. And I don't think we discussed anything that would require the motion to be amended. Unless anyone disagrees with that.
Nope.
So, is there any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, let's take a roll call vote. Dave,
Aye.
Brett,
I
and I for myself. The new form is accepted. Thank you, Paula.
Thank you.
Okay.
strobe light going in
Sigrid.
there.
I bought a new light. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. I'm just my.
Hold on just a second.
Mr. Chair, if we're on the same subject, can we mention grease trap over at 900? Was it 900 Main Street?
Well, the grease trap would have been 1 Main Street, but
1 Main Street. The only thing I ask is, I went by there the other day. I really like to ask Bill his thoughts about if anything did come from that construction at the gas station. It's hard for me to let that go. It's hard for me to believe that it was a coincidence that they're digging in the pipes and then we got a clog there. Just bringing it up. I mean,
Yeah,
I
I
would be-
Paula and I did look at the sewer system maps. And, you know, on the maps, I mean, there is no legal connection. The former gas station was bettered, but never connected. But I get what you're saying. I think Paul and I talked about, you know, when Walmart was built, some people ended up with water in the basement on White Street, but I mean, that was different. That was dynamiting.
I think all I'm asking, Mr. Chair, could we run a camera around there just to see if there is, did they break the stub? Did they hit something? It may not have to be a connection, but we could have had a pipe somewhere through there. It just seems odd that we had a problem there during that time of the construction. I could see one Main Street being clogged at the manhole in the parking lot, but that far away by the gas station is just, to me, it doesn't make sense, but I'm not a engineer either. That's why I was asking Bill his thoughts on it.
Yep, go ahead, Bill, if you want
All
to.
right, sure. So if they did hit a pipe when they were working at the old gas station, I think we would have found dirt or sand in the lines, and that is not what was found in the lines. So I really don't think they did any damage over there.
Do we know exactly what was found in the line? Was it grease?
It was grease. According to RADA, one of the lines was completely blocked. One of the manholes was completely blocked. And Bill, I know you talked to Jim about it. So if you want to expand.
Yeah, they said it was built up over time. It was really, really hard. They had the hose to suck it out. They were using the hose to hammer on it just to break it up so they could get the grease to move so they can get it out. So it wasn't consistent with a damaged pipe.
Any other thoughts or comments there, Dave?
I'm just wondering, should we sit down, maybe put it on the agenda? Just look at our grease trap policies again on how to improve it and
Well, that's kind of where I'm going with this.
Right.
Is, you know, John and I have talked about the possibility of doing inspections. And our regulations do allow that. To make sure that they are being maintained, that they are being cleaned, especially those that don't have an interceptor. And John, if you want to expand.
Sure. I'm actually kind of a fan of unannounced audits. So we used to do that, but we sort of backed off. So I would like to reinstitute that. And just, you know, perhaps as a precaution, we should possibly just look at the first manhole down from every business that has internal grease traps, just as a precaution. I really don't think we're going to find any problems, but I'd like to have the sewer department do that, especially after they get their new magnet to lift manhole covers. But I really don't think we're going to find anything, but just as a precaution, I'd like to see the sewer department do that. And I would like to go back to occasional unannounced inspections of internal grease traps. I'm not really concerned about any restaurant that has an external grease trap, because I think that's managed quite well. So,
you know, Mr. Chair,
those are my thoughts.
I would take a look at our policy, and my company was the inspector of grease traps in Shrewsbury for the Shrewsbury Board of Health. We caught one person at an establishment, a chicken place, dumping grease from their vats into the floor drains. And the town fined them $10,000. So it was definitely a violation. I don't think the average restaurant or company knows how much damage that can cause not only our town, but other towns as well. I think we ought to look at our policies again. And if it's in true violation, we gotta fine these establishments if they're not maintaining their internal grease traps. I mean, when you go into a place and grease is coming out of the floor, there's a problem. But again, going back to this situation, I just find it hard to believe it got stuck there. Common sense tells me it should have got stuck in the parking lot of 1 Main Street. Was there any grease there?
We didn't pop that manhole cover. There's
This
a
is
manhole
called, this
between,
is the manhole cover on the private property.
yeah, the manhole cover between the bank and the property, we did not pop. But the grease trap blockage, and Bill, I'm not sure exactly where it was, but it was not far from, it started not far from the establishment. And then it went down the line, and then congealed, but they had to jet, I think, 3 different manholes plus the pump station. Is that correct, Bill?
Yes, they had to go all the way to the pump station, right into the pump station. So it was the entire line.
The entire line from that intersection, from that area, all the way down to the pump station.
Mr. Chair and everybody, if I'm not mistaken, there's literally one restaurant that leads to those areas.
Correct.
I think we should certainly institute an inspection of some kind. As discussed sooner than later, starting with that manhole. And number 1 Main Street between the bank and the establishment. We could.
Okay, so I mean, Paula and I did look at the grease trap at the restaurant. You know, my little bit of knowledge about grease traps, it didn't look like a lot of grease. We are waiting for some additional information from the restaurant, right, Paula?
Correct.
And then I guess my only other question would be the manhole in question that the restaurant goes to the manhole and the bank goes to the manhole. It's on private property. I don't want to say I'm assuming, but I'm pretty sure because it's part of the sewer, it ultimately spills in the sewer system, we should be able to go in and inspect that. So I don't see anything here that we need to take a vote on, but Paula and Bill, if you know, whether it would be the DPW guys or RADA or you know, Al, you could take a look at that manhole. If we could do that. And rather than make a decision on cammering tonight, let's see what happens with that inspection to determine where we go from here.
Are we correct that the waste comes from the restaurant to the manhole at 1 Main Street in the back, correct?
Yes, the Main Street, there's a concrete wall and it comes in, there's a manhole below that concrete wall that both the bank and the 1 Main Street connect. And then they go from there to the manhole in the street.
Like I say, I would think that one between the bank and the establishment should have issues with it.
They have had issues, according to the restaurant owner. There has been a clog there in the past, and it was grease. And the grease was being backed up, and apparently there was a dispute between the 2 businesses, but things were being thrown down the toilet that shouldn't have been. And that contributed to the block up, but apparently the sewage was backing up into the restaurant. And according to the property owner, it was caused by both foreign objects in the sewer system and grease. John, is that your recollection as well?
That is my recollection from the restaurant owner. So where does that leave us right now? Again, I think probably to get the reports from the restaurant about how the line was serviced. If we could get either the DPW sewer department and our maintenance contractor to take a look at the manhole and then make some decisions.
Do
I
we
would
want
like to,
Go ahead, Paula.
I would like to send a formal letter to the establishment owner requesting the information because I haven't received it yet. So I would like to send a letter requesting the reports that he.
I think that would be a good idea because we talked to him on the 26th of January.
Yes, yeah, June, yeah.
June, rather. Yeah,
June,
January.
yeah.
Just by chance, do we know if the town hall was on that same manhole?
I don't know. I don't believe so, but Bill. would
No,
know.
it's
I think,
not.
yeah, I think, no, the town hall crosses over 2A and heads down Leominster Road.
I think it goes down to Oak Ave. Goes that way.
Oh, that far, okay. But yeah, it's yeah. That does not go down 2A and then come back up 2A over to Leominster. So the town
What
hall.
about the post office, Mr. Chair?
To what?
The post office.
I'm not sure.
I think that goes directly out onto Mass Ave,
I would think so, but I don't know.
because they're further on down, Brett.
All right.
We had a
So-
problem. We requested an external grease trap there when the establishment opened up. And the previous DPW director felt it wasn't needed, where the board did at the time. So, and there's always been a problem at 1 Main Street. I think it's something that Bill's going to inherit. That we should look at this and fix it. And hopefully this won't happen again.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things going
Well,
on. Like I
I
said,
don't want to come to the conclusion that there's something we need to fix. We just need to right now determine what's.
Investigate.
Yeah. I don't want to be presumptuous in that we have to fix something. Okay, so again, we want Paula to send a letter to the restaurant to, get the reports. Do you want to wait until we get those before we take a look at the manhole? Or I think we should go ahead and look at the manhole. So unless, Dave, Brett, you agree, disagree?
no, I think it should be looked at right away.
Okay,
That might have been the side of the problem too. It broke off and
right. So, Bill, Paula, obviously the two of you need to take that on. Paula, you
Yep.
obviously already had the idea, write in a letter. Bill, if you could, again, whether it's your guys or MP, probably be your guys, I'm assuming, take a look at the manhole.
Yep, we'll
Yeah.
definitely schedule it.
All right.
Mr.
And
Chair.
get comments on that.
Can you
Right?
folks hear me? Yeah.
Yep, go ahead.
I just wanted to ask if maybe we should leave it open-ended that whether it's the DPW or Rada or Al checking this out, do we want to depending on what they see, instead of making a second trip, would they have the ability to camera and go further while they're there, depending on what they see, giving them an open-ended permission to investigate further if possible at the time?
Yeah, no, Brett, I think that's a good idea. Bill, what do you think about that?
Yeah, do we have to have their permission to camera their line? I think we do.
Okay, so we would have to have permission to camera their line from the manhole to the restaurant, from the manhole to the bank. Can we camera the other direction without their permission?
From the manhole on the private property to our manhole?
Yeah,
Uh,
but I guess it wouldn't make
It's-
any sense to have a camera there and not go in all three directions. So you've got a good point about getting permission to do that. Okay, Bill, I'll let you take that on as a project.
Okay,
Bill, I understand what you're saying, but it's the sewer line on private property. Do we have an easement or anything? I mean, we have access to that. What you say?
we don't have an easement, no.
So if there's a break there, we gotta have access to get to that. It's a parking lot, right? So we must have some kind of permission from the landlord. It's one landlord that owns that whole property, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so do we tell the
So-
landlord he's responsible for cleaning it?
Yeah, if there's a break on private property, the owner has to fix it.
Has he been notified that about this situation?
Well, the restaurant,
Paying rent to the
well,
owner.
Paula and I talked to the restaurant owner back on the 26th, right, Paula? You haven't
Right.
talked since then, have you?
I have.
Okay.
He called the office and said he was very concerned about the situation and explained more of the history, basically reiterated what he had said to us. And said that he would be sending the reports, that he wanted to put the whole packet together and send it to us, but I still haven't received it.
Okay.
So should we be sending a letter to the landlord requesting that he open up the manhole and take pictures or clean it or whatever? Instead of us
Well,
doing?
Who is the landlord of that parking lot?
He owns that whole property. I don't know the guy's name. It's the son who owns it now.
It
All
was
right,
Mr.
so-
Arcidi.
That includes the bank too?
Yeah, he owns everything
Okay.
Mr. Arcidi is the property owner.
Okay,
except for the town hall. That's why I asked if the town hall was connected to that, and it isn't because it's on personal property. So the town hall must have went the other way.
I will look into the ownership of the parcel between Bill and I think we can figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, we should get him to go lift the manhole, let him pay for it, if that's the case.
yeah, well, let's, I don't think we need any further discussion on it. I think Paula and Bill have a pretty good handle on what needs to be done from here, and obviously, it's gonna be on the next agenda. Any further discussion?
Not today, but I'd like to have it on the future agenda.
Yep,
Thank
yep. Okay. Let's see, where did we leave off? We did commitments, grease trap permits.
So the next was annual permit fees.
Annual permit fees, yeah, I'm sorry.
So in the regulations that you guys adopted on February 28th, it states that internal grease traps permit fees are $150 and external are $150, which is significantly less than prior permit fees. I'm assuming that was intentional.
At the time, I believe it was, yeah.
Okay. So I will be sending them out with the fees, but one of the questions that I had during COVID, you guys had waived the annual fees. And I want to make sure that you want to implement the $150 fee this year.
Mr. Chair, I think that would be a discussion for a whole board, if you don't mind.
Okay, let's see. If we were to want to implement those for the upcoming year, When would we have to vote on that?
Mr. Chair, I've got to actually look at the dates. Bear with me 1 second.
Sure. I should have thought about this earlier.
I can't open the database because I'm not there. So I don't think it's a problem. I mean, the permits will just stay in place until we send out the renewal. So I don't think it's an issue to table it.
Okay. All right, then let's hold off on this until we have at least 4 members. Oh, 5.
The other question that I had on the new regulations is, we used to implement a non-compliance fee. The new regulations say there's an automatic non-compliance fee of $100. Failure to comply with the reporting requirements specified in this regulation may result in an automatic non-compliance fine of $100. Continued non-compliance is $25 per day of violation. So you've eliminated the initial $50 fee. And we have one establishment that's consistently late with their reporting. So, and I think this should be tabled as well, but just to bring to your attention, I don't know if you want to implement that $100 non-compliance fee with their annual fee. So just something to think about for next meeting.
Okay. I mean, I think during COVID, we were trying to help restaurant establishments as much as we could. And I think perhaps we need to revisit all of this. So yeah, let's put it on for another meeting. I don't know if the next meeting is soon enough for everyone to really take a look at everything that we would have to, which would be reading the regs. So any opinion as to whether you want to put this on the next agenda or the one after that? I mean, we can keep it on every agenda between now and when we do this, but I just want everyone to have a chance to read the current regs and think about some of the old regs.
So I can send out the old regs and the new regs to everybody so that you can compare and kind of look at them.
Okay.
I would suggest that.
That'd be great.
Okay, so the next meeting is in, what is it, 2 or 3 weeks? Is that enough
It's the
time?
25th. It's the 25th.
25th. So is that enough time for you guys to take a look at those and read them?
Mr. Chairman, I suggest we put it on there. Rick Mackin will be a member at that point, correct?
Right.
Joining us potentially. And if I think we just leave it on the agenda. We can review if we're not ready to make a vote at that time. We put it on the next one, but at least have it on there and have a discussion and see where it goes.
All right. I think it's a good idea. Let's do that. Okay. All of that, put it on the next
Yep.
agenda.
Yep. And that takes care of the compliance status and renewals as well.
Right.
So we'll just move that to the next agenda.
All right. All of the oil water separators.
So this is a new one. You guys implemented this in February of 28th. And I'm kind of looking for guidance here because these establishments have never obtained a permit before for their oil water separators. So this is going to be brand new to them as well as to me. And from my reading of the regulations is that they have to submit a completed separator service report within 30 days. They have to clean it at least a minimum of twice annually, according to the regulations. And the annual permit fee is $150. And failure to comply is the automatic fine of $100, and then the $25 per day. So the fining process mimics the new grease trap regulations. Based on Barb's notes, we have 3 definite oil water separators, and that is at Unitil, which is at 357 Electric Ave, Whalum Car Wash, which is at 380 Electric Ave, and then Walmart, which is 301 Mass Ave. She has a question on the mobile car wash, which is at Mr. Mike's, the convenience store across from Mackey's. I don't know how we find that, because there's just a question mark. Does anyone know if they have an oil water separator?
You know, I don't know, but do you think we have as-built plans for it?
No.
I get in touch.
I was just trying to add some humor here, Paul.
I have a question, Mr. Chairman.
Absolutely, go ahead.
What do we know about the car wash that just reopened at the bottom of?
That's the one I'm asking about. That's
Ah,
exactly
okay.
the one I'm asking about, yeah. Because we don't, and so I'm looking for you guys to see if you know anything about it, and do I send them a letter saying, do you have a oil grease separator? It's the same owner as the Whalum wash, so I could just place a call to him and find out.
Mr. Chair, I would do 2 things. One is, we know the laws for car washes. You definitely need an oil water separator. It's part of the cycle of the builder. I would talk to the plumbing inspector, and he would give you the answers on that, because if they don't have one, they definitely gonna need one. I mean, that's all oil going into the ground. So yeah, that's kind of a no-brainer on that. That should be enforced.
Okay,
So Paula, can you connect with the plumbing inspector?
sure can.
In fact, Paula, we mentioned that to, I think it was Mr. Proctor when he built his little condos or storage units for mechanics, contractors to do the same thing.
Yeah. We don't have the permit for that, yes, but yes, he did redesign with floor
Yeah.
drains for everything
Yeah.
and with an external interceptor. So
Right.
once he's ready to move forward, he has redesigned it to accommodate that.
Right, and I think that discussion at that meeting, however many weeks ago, made us realize that we need to be doing a better job with the oil and grease separators for that type of establishment.
So I will put together an application and the form for you guys to review, and I'll put that on the next agenda as well.
Okay, thank you.
Now, we know Walmart's got one because we thought it was a grease trap. I don't know if we're charging for a grease trap or not, and we've been
We
charging.
are not, we are not, we never have.
We did it one time when there was a McDonald's there, but then they shut down a McDonald's. Then we went over into the garage. And they have a grease trap there in the garage when they do their oil changes.
Maybe it's in the archives of the Passios, but there's no record of it in the office. And I know Barb
right.
actually researched it to try to find it and was not successful.
Because
Dave, it
Jack and
sounds
I-
like
Go ahead.
sounds like a field trip for someone who was on the sewer commission a long time ago, Dave.
We did. We talked to the manager. Jack and I went up there. They showed us the whole thing. And
Okay.
they have a grease collector where they change their oil, and we sat back, went back to the board and said, how come we don't have this on any kind of so Barbara had it. And I would say it was back in 2010 we did it.
Because we haven't been able to find it, and that was before she left. We were looking for it,
Yeah,
but I will look again.
it's in the mechanics bay. Now, that might be an oil separator too. I mean, because that's what they do there.
Well, look, rather than have Paula spend a plethora of time going through old files, is there some other way we can try to determine whether to have a
Talk to
site?
the building inspector. Ask
Okay,
him.
Okay,
and depending on what he says, Paula, maybe it might take a site visit from,
okay.
okay, anything else on the oil separators?
Yes. I was curious, I assume Hannaford has a grease trap system.
They have
They-
a regular grease trap. The oil water separators is different. But yes, Hannaford has a grease trap, and yes, they are submitting their interceptor reports.
That's it, thank you.
Um,
Is that from Paula's side? Yeah, it's Paula's side.
that was my grandson. I don't have a grandson, but anyway. The ARPA funding. I don't, hi Paula,
Right.
and whoever you have there.
We're just about-
Just to give, oh, I'm sorry, what, John?
I say, hi Paula, and whoever you have there.
This is Buddy. Hi,
Buddy.
Buddy. He's making a lot of noise tonight. The ARPA, it's just to, you know, the request that you and I put together, John, is just to give an update and make sure that they're aware of it.
Mr. Chair, they're talking about it tonight, so if anybody wants to watch the select board meeting at 7, that's them.
Or, you know, Dave, if you feel so inclined to attend, you know. Okay,
You want that, but okay.
Dave, no, I don't. Again, I don't think there's anything else that the sewer commission could contribute to what was said already. So I don't see any need to attend.
Mr. Chair, the letter was good. I mean, I'm gonna watch it, obviously, and I'll be ready to zoom on. But I think you did, and Paula, you guys did a good presentation, and it is what it is at this point.
Right. Okay. The IMA, I don't think there's really anything else to discuss. When you met with Leominster, did you talk about a potential next meeting time?
We did, and we said we'll leave it up to your girl will get our girl a call. So Paula was gonna talk when we're ready to go to the next phase. And I think.
I
we're-
reached out to Jake Fleming, and he said that with vacations, he was thinking middle of August. So he said he would get back to me at the end of July, so.
Okay, all right, sounds good. That's probably an item we should keep on each agenda for a while.
Are we gonna get the engineers involved with the negotiation? It would be nice if we. did
Well,
some-
Wright Pierce did look at the IMA and issued, what was it? 1, 2, 3 pages of thoughts about it, Paula.
Right, and I did send that out to everybody. Now, Wright Pierce also works for Leominster on the IMA, so they've also provided comments to Leominster as well as to us. I have asked them to come in at the meeting on July 25th. David asked them to come in. You guys did accept the contract to look at the redirection of flow, and David requested they come in just to give us kind of a discussion about these kinds of issues. And I reached out to Kevin Olson, and he tentatively said the 25th, but he was going to confirm. So I have to reach back out to him and make sure that they're available on the 25th.
I think, Mr. Chair, what we want to do is get the wording right about what we want to ask Leominster. That's not conventional, hasn't been done before, about taking care of the pipes and stuff like that.
You're talking about it. Our pipes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hammering, stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, and I have no clue. Would that be part of the IMA or a different agreement?
Part of the IMA.
Okay. All right, well, we'll keep that on the agenda. Pond View Commons. Did anyone read those multi-page documents that were?
Yeah, Brett had asked that this be on the agenda, so.
I mean, I think it's a good idea to have it here. You know, right now it's up, unless I'm misreading anything, it's really up to our lawyers and the court, not the court, but the housing authority. Yeah, and Paul, if you hear anything that changes, just, you know, let us know.
Okay.
Any other comments on Pond View? No?
Nope.
Joint meeting with the select board coming up next Tuesday. Brett, Dave, are you going to be able to attend?
Yes,
I will.
And it's at 7:30.
7:30.
7:30.
Okay.
oh,
Uh,
you're gonna make an agenda for that
Yep.
by,
Yep.
by Thursday?
Okay. So are you guys planning on attending personally or Zooming or?
Personally.
Okay, and I'll be there personally too.
Brett, you're gonna show there personally, because we got those things ready for you that we talked about at the meeting the other night. You there, Brett?
Oh, sorry, yeah, the hearing assistance.
Yes, that's all set for you.
I haven't checked that out yet, but I was planning on going early. Do you think I should make a call or stop in and?
No, we already did that for you. You're all set.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, if you want to stop a little bit early, I can meet you and we can play with it and see how it works. I think it's pretty cool. So,
That would be fantastic.
All right, great. Thanks, Dave, for doing that.
Thank you, Dave.
Paula, business manager's report.
There hasn't been a lot of activity at the pump station since the last meeting. I'm currently working on trying to get the lift tool that you guys had bought back in 2020 to work. That was a tool to help determine I&I. But in order to, there's definitely some issues with the data coming in, and I also need all the reports from CTE in order to get it to work. But it's just something that Bill and I are playing with. I want to let you know that next year, with next year's budget, which we're now in, Bill and I talked about conducting more jetting, line jetting, doing more manhole repairs, doing more infrastructure repairs. We did look at the procurement laws, and as long as the amount is under $50,000, we can do it with 3 written quotes. So just to give you a heads up that there will be more activity from a maintenance standpoint next year or this year. The fiscal 23 budget status, all the bills have been submitted. I'm unable to determine exactly where we are right now because the revenue isn't current in Munis. So hopefully the next meeting or the first meeting in August, I'll be able to give you the year-end figures because I don't have them yet. Fiscal 23 encumbrances, that has changed since the last meeting. I received several of the bills that I didn't think I would have by year end, which I have submitted for payment. So the encumbrance has been reduced to $32,616. And I did send that out via DocuSign, but I do need a vote on the revised amount.
Paula, does that mean I need to re-sign that or?
Yeah, but I did send it. I sent it via DocuSign and I sent it to your Ramsden Walls email. So you should be able to do it online. And if you can't, let me know, but you should be able to.
Thank you.
Paula, did you resend the new one? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I resent a new one. Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, through DocuSign? Right, okay, but that only went to my Lunenburg email, right? Not,
I can send it to your other email.
no,
if it's
no.
easier.
I just
Yeah.
thought that only, so I'll take a look at that and I'll sign that.
Okay, yeah, Dave's already signed it, but I need the vote on the revised amount, which is $32,616.
All right, Dave, since you've already signed that, you want to make a motion?
Make a motion that we approve the notice that Paula sent for 35,000, was it?
32,616.
32,616. And thank you for doing the DocuSign. It was fantastic.
Awesome.
Brett, you want to second that?
I would like to second that motion.
Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, let's take a vote. Brett,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
I for myself, the motion is passed. Okay,
And the only other thing I'd like to add is I'm going to be sending out the the year-end commitment via DocuSign. So look for that as well. There's going to be a couple of places to sign on that. But DocuSign will guide you through that.
okay. I guess, go ahead, Brett.
I was thinking, Paula.
Okay. The only thing I would add under this section is when Paula mentioned the lift tool. that it's a database that helps us measure how much the pumping stations are pumping. And it's a way of helping us to monitor I&I. It's not a physical tool. So I just wanted to make that comment for the public. Okay.
What is
Go
the
ahead.
status on that?
So I am trying to get it working. Right now, the numbers are crazy. And whether or not that's because, you know, in a database, you only get the input based on the data that you put into it. So if we put junk in, we're going to get junk out. So we need to really look at the data that we're putting in, and the CTE reports are not, I'm not sure I'm getting exactly what I need from those. And I've only been able to input 1 quarter because I only have 1 full quarter worth of data. But right now it's showing that a couple of the pump stations have a significant I&I problem. So what it does is it takes the amount of volume that we are charging for based on the meter readings we receive, and then it determines how much flow we're actually sending. But the numbers right now seem way off. So Bill and I've got to really look at the data. So, but I'm trying to get it working, and my goal is to get it working for the entire year so we can get a real handle on where we are. But in order to do that, I do need the data from CTE, which I only have through May 26th. So I'm really hoping that we can start getting those reports at least quarterly. The current contracts calls for monthly, weekly and monthly. So moving forward, that's something we're going to need to make sure that we do get as per the contract.
Okay.
That's great. So it's certainly working, and certainly worth the effort here then.
I think so. And again, just for the public, when Paula said I&I at the pump stations, it's not the pump station themselves, but it would be all of the lines leading up to the particular pump station in question.
Right.
Okay. Any public comment? Has anyone joined? Let's see here. No. And Bill has left, right?
Right. He had to go to the selectmen's meeting.
Right. Okay. Any public comment from commissioners or the sewer department? No, seeing none. Go
John,
ahead,
I
Paul.
do just want to remind you guys that I will be at the July 25th meeting. I'll be on vacation, so I'll be remote. And the August 8th meeting, I will not be able to attend.
So the July 25th, do you need someone else to host?
No, I'll be able to join from, I have Wi-Fi at the house. that we
Wherever it
rented,
is you
so-
are going.
Yes.
Yeah.
But August 8th, I will not be able to.
Okay. So on August 8th, we'll need someone else to be the host.
Yeah.
Okay. Dave looks like he's volunteering for that. Any other public comment? All right, seeing none. Does anyone want to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Anyone want to second that, Dave?
Second.
Any further discussion? No? All right, let's take a vote. Brett,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
I for myself. The meeting sewer commission for July 11th is adjourned. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
As Mike Knott would say, good night, Lunenburg.
Yep, good night.
All right. Good night, everybody.
everyone.
Night.
Thank you.